Hello everyone, welcome to the course of your statistics. So today's session will be moving towards to the concept of linear regression. So this is one important algorithm you can call as algorithm which is used in any data analysis concept. Whatever the data analysis you need to use it, we need to use this one of the algorithm to find out the regression model on that. Basically this a linear regression model, so whenever we use this particular, so basically it's just a model or algorithm we use for a data analysis concept. So with the help of this model we can find out the accuracy level for any model, any data on that. So basically in a normal words, if you talk about regression analysis, it's a statistical methodology that allows to determine the strength relationship of the two variable, because it's depend upon always a input and a output variable. So in a normal words you can call as it's a model to assume a linear relationship between a input variable and a single output variable. Remember that input can be multiple, but always output will be the single variable. So whenever we use a linear regression model, we have only one single output, and it's depend upon your dependent variable as well as the independent variable. The two variable where we used it in a linear regression, that is dependent variable, and one more is your independent variable. So we are using dependent or independent variable. With the help of dependent and independent variable, we are moving to find out or to analyze the particular graph and analyze or assume the model of that particular areas on that. We are having a lots of thing in that to find out the notations and all. So we are using one particular formula to find or to go ahead with the linear regression, that is y equals to a plus bx. Basically this y is nothing but your dependent variable which is dependent to other things. This x is your independent variable, and this a and b is just a number, it's nothing, just a particular number, your a and b, because we are having a lots of values. You can take as some of the values where we are having a independent variables more, but the dependent variable always are one particular values on that. So this is what are exactly the formula of your particular thing. We have a dependent variable, we have independent variable, and a slope. So basically a and b is your slopes. We'll use this is, or you can take as m also, or b, those are your slope. We call as values or we call as slope on that. We use this thing to go ahead with our linear regression. So in this we are having two types of linear regression, that is your simple linear regression or your multiple linear regression. So if I talk about the first one, that is your simple linear regression, that will be the simplest way or the simple. The formula how it will be like the previous one, y equals to m plus cx. You can take this formula as well, where m will be your slope and m and x will be, y is your independent variable and x is your, y is your dependent variable and x is your independent variable. Here what happen, if you observe, there is a one output, right, and there is a one input also, because there is only one dependent variable. When it comes to multiple regression, what happen, y equals to, slope will be 1, but c1 x1 plus c2 x2 plus, this is the slope will be 1. This is sum of values, we call slope as a values, c2 x2 c3 x3 plus c4 x4 plus dot, it just lasts to xcn xn. So if you observe, there is only one dependent variable or one output on that, slope also 1. But how many inputs you have? There is a lots of input, like n number of inputs you have, or you can call as n number of independent variable. So this is what called multiple regression. The name itself, multiple, means n number of regression. So in two way we can do the analysis with your any data. So you can go with simple linear regression or you can go with multiple linear regression. Just keep in your mind, if you go ahead with a simple linear regression, you have always one input as well as one output, which means that you have one independent variable and one dependent variable. But in the other process, in the other types, is your multiple linear regression. What happened here? You have only one output, but you have n number of input. And if you want to go with your any lots of data sets, you can go with a multiple regression. That will be a more proficient, more efficient level to find out that. And here what happened, dependent, which means that dependent will be 1 and the independent variable will be the lot. So this is the two ways or two types of linear regression. And take a note of those two formulas. Always remember these two formulas we need to use for the next session as well. Keeping in the mind y equals to m plus c1 x1 plus c2 x2 c3. This will be for your multiple regression and this will be for the simple, means a basics one, simple linear regression. I hope you are clear with your all the regression topic, how you need to use it. So we need to use some libraries also in that in the next session. So in the next session we'll be understanding directly in a practical way, like how exactly you will use in a Jupyter notebook to find out your linear regression, or basically we'll be using this to data sets for your accuracy level to find out the proper accuracy on that, like how much the accuracy or how much the analysis status. So this thing will be moving towards to the next session. So yeah, thank you.